Got all these birthday cards. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a very special edition of Courageous Woman Magazine Live. Tonight's conversation is one that impacts millions of individuals, families, and communities every single day. Yet, far too many people still suffer in silence. As we close out Mental Health Awareness Month, we want to create a safe and empowering space for real conversations, expert insight, healing, hope, and encouragement. Our special Mental Health Matters edition brings together mental health professionals, and advocates who are using their voice, experience, and expertise to help people heal, grow, and prioritize emotional wellness. Tonight, we will discuss topics surrounding anxiety, trauma, emotional wellness, resilience, self-care, healing, and the importance of removing the stigma surrounding mental health. At Courageous Woman Magazine, we believe that healing conversations matter, support matters, and mental health matters. I'm your host, Dr. Telishia Berry, publisher of Courageous Woman Magazine and CEO of Strive International Publishing. And I'm honored to have you join us tonight. So this is going to be an important conversation. So if you are watching, go ahead and share. And all of our guests, go ahead and share. We're friends on Facebook, some YouTube. Share. We want everybody to be in on this important conversation. And if you miss it, make sure you go back to our Courageous Woman Magazine YouTube. My first guest tonight is Dr. Tracy Allen. Dr. Allen is a retired U.S. Army officer, Bronze Star recipient, three times breast cancer survivor, best-selling author, entrepreneur, leadership mentor, and an advocate dedicated to helping others overcome adversity and embrace healing, resilience, and purpose. With more than 20 years of military service and extensive experience in counseling, education, mentorship, and leadership development, she has inspired countless individuals through her speaking, writing, business leadership, and community service. As a founder of Trey Lux Design and chair of the Youth Leadership Initiative, Dr. Allen continues to empower others through mentorship, self-care advocacy, leadership development, and personal growth. Please help us welcome Dr. Tracy Allen.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Hey, Dr. Tracy, you are doing some phenomenal things. You are in the mental health profession as well as doing community work. Now you're a 3 times breast cancer survivor, a retired Army officer, a counselor, an advocate. What lessons has your journey taught you about resilience and protecting your mental health during life's greatest challenges?
Well, I have to say my journey has taught me that resilience is not about never falling. It is about continuing to rise each time that life continues to knock you down. As a three-time breast cancer survivor, such as myself, being a retired Army officer, a divorced spouse from an abusive marriage, a counselor, Army officer, advocate, I have faced many challenges that tested my faith. God knows it has tested my faith, my strength, my sense of identity. And one of the most important lessons I learned that protecting your mental health is just as important as protecting your health, your physical health altogether. For many years, I believed that strength meant carrying everybody's burden alone. Over time, I learned that true strength includes asking for help. That's the true strength. Setting boundaries, resting when you need to, even resting when you want to. Sometimes you have to be selfless. Giving yourself permission to heal is okay. Resilience is built one day at a time, one choice, one step at a time. It is found in decisions that we keep moving forward, even when the path is uncertain. Even at times when we want to give up, you just got to keep stepping forward. Just one step. That's all it takes. Just one step at a time.
One step. Wow. And that is it. You got to keep moving forward. And so often people get stressed, depressed, and that's it right there. They stop right there. So many women carry the pressure of being strong for everyone else silently, struggling emotionally themselves. Why is it important for women to prioritize self care and emotional wellness?
Well, first of all, women are often the caregivers. They're the nurturers, they're the leaders, they're the problem solvers. They wear so many hats. We pour so much of ourselves into others that we neglect at times ourselves, mostly all the time. The truth is that you cannot continue to give on an empty cup.
Hmm.
Self care is not selfless, it is necessary, most definitely necessary. Prioritizing your emotional wellness allows women to show up in the healthiest way and most authentic selves because you won't be any good if you're depleted.
Mhm.
It helps prevent burnout, it reduces stress, it creates a space for healing and growth. Taking care of your mental health, emotional well being is one of the greatest gifts one can give oneself and those you love. Because if you neglect yourself, you definitely neglecting others.
Mhm.
When women learn to value their own wellness, they become more stronger, more healthier, and they're healthier to equip and fulfill their purpose that God has given to do.
Wow. Now, you personally have had to overcome tremendous personal and professional challenges throughout life. What advice would you give to someone who feels emotionally exhausted, discouraged, or overwhelmed right now?
Well, first I would have to say, tell them to give themselves grace, most definitely. You got to give yourself grace. Life can be heavy. Sometimes simply making through it the day is a major accomplishment. You do not have to have it all together. You do not have to have all the answers today. You do not even have to fix everything at once. Take one step at a time. Focus on what you can control and release what you cannot. Reach out to someone you trust. Rest when you need to. Pray if you are a person of faith. Most importantly, remember that this season does not define your future. Some of the strongest people I know have walked through moments they felt broken, exhausted, and even uncertain. Your current struggle is not the end of your story. Keep going. Healing takes time, but hope always works holding on to.
Awesome, awesome. Now, mental health conversations are being more open, but many people still hesitate to ask for help. What would you say to someone who is struggling silently and afraid to seek support?
Well, first of all, I would tell them that they are not alone and that seeking help is a sign of courage, not weakness at all. Too many people suffer in silence because they're afraid of being judged or misunderstood. The reality of this, everyone needs support at some point in life. No one can do it on their own. As a counselor and someone who has faced my own personal battles, I know that healing often begins the moment we decide we no longer have to carry everything by ourselves. There is strength in vulnerability. There is power in speaking your truth. You deserve support. You deserve healing. You deserve to be heard. No matter how difficult things may seem today, there is hope, there is help, and there are people who cares. Taking the first step may feel frightening at first. Trust me, I know. I've been down that road. But it could also be the beginning of your healing journey. And once that happens, I would say the sky is the limit, but it's not. The universe. Everything falls into place and it will help tremendously.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing on Courageous Woman Magazine Live. Thank you so much. We appreciate you as a health profession to share. There's so many people that are, going through a lot in that mental health issue and have mental health issues, and that's why we thought it was important today to talk about this and have some of the amazing women experts in the healthcare and mental health space to join us tonight. So thank you for being here and joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
All right, we're going to keep this show going, and we're going to have our next guest come on, who is Mitzi Alexander. Our next guest is Mitzi Alexander. She's a licensed master social worker and founder of Mitzi Alexander, LMSW. Mitzi is a dedicated mental health professional, Army veteran, and advocate who provides counseling services to individuals, couples, and families throughout Michigan through both telehealth and in-person sessions. With experience in community mental health, she specializes in areas including depression, anxiety, grief, trauma, emotional wellness. Her military background gives her unique insight into supporting individuals and families through life's emotional challenges. Please welcome Mitzi Alexander. Hey, Mitzi, how are you?
Hello, I'm fine.
Thank you for being here on our mental health, wellness, and all of the things that you do, that you contribute to this space. Thank you so much. Many parents want to support their children emotionally, but may not know where to begin. What are some signs parents should pay attention to when a child or teenager may be struggling emotionally?
Yes. So, Dr. Berry, first, I just want to say very quickly, thank you for having me here today. It is greatly appreciated. And the term that I want to use for parents is emotional regulation, main sign. Mm-hmm. When you're dysregulated, you have difficulty expressing your emotions. You have difficulty controlling your crying. You have difficulty controlling your anger. You just have a difficult time expressing yourself. That is the number one sign that a parent should be more attentive, trying to actively support and find out from the child, talk to the child about what's going on. And of course, it has to be age appropriate. An example, most 2-year-olds don't have emotional regulation. So some of the emotions that you see in younger children are normal. But as a parent, it is our responsibility to assist them through those emotions to help them be able to learn how to regulate them.
Okay. I mean, there's several people that may be watching that may have to deal with a lot of things that we're going to be talking about tonight. So make sure that you are, if you're tuning in, that you are sharing There are parents that may have some children that they're dealing with emotional issues. So please make sure that you are sharing. Tonight is a very special, important topic on mental health. A lot of people are silently dealing with anxiety, stress, or emotional burnout while trying to appear okay. What are some practical ways individuals can begin prioritizing their mental health without feeling guilty?
And I'm going to say you need to take small steps because a lot of us grew up in cultures where it's not normal to do things for yourself. We were taught sometimes that we need to take care of others rather than ourselves. So it's really very simple things that we can do, Dr. Barry. It's as simple as, taking an hour to sit down on the couch and watch television. Just being able to do positive experiences, self-care for yourself, stepping back. And sometimes it's hard. So I would say if it's difficult for you, then take it in increments. Maybe one day you might take 15 minutes for yourself. The next day you might take 30 minutes. But as you build it up, it's always important to take care of yourself because that helps us release some of the stress that we're getting from our day-to-day stressors.
Wow. Now, you have experience working with trauma, grief, depression, and anxiety. What would you say to someone who feels overwhelmed and believes healing is impossible for them?
Yes, I believe that Dr. Allen talked about hope. And so one of the things I do if someone comes to me not overwhelmed and not able to see things in a different perspective, the first thing I ask is, tell me about a time when you didn't feel overwhelmed. And sometimes they can. And, I'll ask, so what were you doing then? What was different now than it is before? And if they're unable to remember a time, then I simply ask, well, describe to me what you think it would look like if you weren't overwhelmed. And so trying to interject hopefulness and get them to understand either they were at that point once before, let's work at getting back to that point, or if they know where they want to go, let's work at being successful at getting them to the next step of not being overwhelmed.
Wow, good. That's good. Now, mental health still carries a stigma in many communities, especially among families and communities of color. Why is it important for us to normalize conversations about therapy, emotional wellness, and asking for help?
Yes, because the more we talk about it, the more we normalize it, the more the stigma will decrease. If I hear my parents talking about mental health, maybe they had a rough day, they're discussing it, or if I see my parents regulating their emotions normally, then it's normalizing it for me. The more I hear someone talk about it, the more it's like, oh, okay, that must be okay to talk about. So then it becomes a priority. The stigma goes down, and then I'm able to begin to advocate and to talk to others about what's happening to me. I don't feel so alone, isolated.
I think that's important. It's important to find other ways to get people to communicate and tell what they're dealing with. Give us like a scenario. You may have to deal with a woman who may be in a abusive relationship, and she, have things have become so normal in this relationship, and it's not normal. What would you say to her?
I think it begins once again to injecting that hope. What would you like things to look for tomorrow? If you woke up, what would you like things to look like? How would you be living? What would be going on in your life? What would be different? Because I think sometimes people misunderstand therapy as this place where you come in and the therapist says, yep, you need to do A, you need to do B, you need to do C. That's not what it's about. It's about being able to come in and share what's going on in your life and just gain different perspectives on what is actually going on, which allows you to see things maybe differently and to want to change them. But the main goal always, no matter who I have, is to kind of be able to help them see what life would be like if they felt better. And how can we get them there? What do they need to do?
Okay, awesome. And a lot of people want to go to counseling, or sometimes they don't, or they have this misconception
Mhm.
and they think, oh, all I'm going to do is go in there and tell my business. And I've had to have counseling a few times, and I think it was the best thing that I could have done for myself. But a lot of people are still where I was in my
Mhm.
thought process of going to counseling. What do you say to those who just totally, I'm not going to counseling? I don't believe in that. What do you say to those people?
I kind of, first of all, I always say, well, what's holding you back? What do you think it's about? What do you think is happening there? And then I usually invite them, to come talk to me, or why don't you just come, and see, just meet me. And that's what I always tell my clients when they first come. Just come meet me. We don't have to talk about a lot. We can just introduce ourselves to each other, because it kind of decreases the stigma when they, especially when they have someone that looks like them. It kind of helps them to be able to relax more. Because believe it or not, that first step, that first session is the hardest for people to get there. They're hesitant, they're scared, they're afraid, they don't want to share. But most of the time, once you get to talking and seeing what it's all about, you're sharing.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you, Mitzi. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly.
You
Mitzi.
are. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing and coming to be part of our Mental Health Matters series. And this series will continue on. So if you're out there and you are a mental health professional and you want to be on our show in this segment, please make sure you go to courageouswomanmag.com and sign up. Or you can use that QR code right at the top of the screen there, and that'll give you direct you right to the information where you can enter your email address and be on our mailing list. All right. Thank you again, Missy.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to keep this show going. This is our mental health awareness. It is the last day of Mental Health Awareness Month. So we are here, and this conversation is going to keep going and going and going, because we know that this is a very important topic, and we are consistently dealing with this in our lives. And those who have businesses or people in this profession, just in the news every day, we're reading something about some type of mental health issue, and this is a conversation that we want to keep going. So if you want to get in on this conversation or want to be on this segment of our Courageous Woman Magazine live show, make sure that you click that button right at the top of the screen. Our next guest is Jeanette Abney. She's a licensed marriage family therapist, owner of Center for the Treatment of Addiction and J.A. Precious. Jeanette is a therapist, public speaker, co-author, and SAP evaluator who has dedicated her work to helping individuals become healthier and stronger versions of themselves. Working with people from all walks of life, she is known for creating honest, engaging conversations while using humor, compassion, and practical insights to help people grow emotionally and mentally. Her work focuses on mental health, personal relationships, unresolved childhood trauma, and emotional healing, helping individuals develop healthier relationships and healthier lives. Please welcome Miss Jeanette Abney.
Hello, how are you doing? I'm sorry I couldn't get this camera working right, so I hope it's working right now.
It's okay. It's okay. Of course, you normally like them turned the other way, but you are here, and we appreciate you being here. My first question for you is: many people prioritize physical health while ignoring emotional pain. Why is emotional healing just as important as physical healing?
Because a lot of times individuals are so focused on what they look like. They're very vain and have to learn behavior. And they don't really see the depression, the anxiety, the PTSD, the childhood trauma. But then they'll say, well, I need to go to the gym. I need to work out. I need to do this, or I want to do that. So it's one of those things where they're focusing on what's more, or they feel what's more important of what's on the outside than actually what they're feeling on the inside.
Wow, that's powerful. The unresolved childhood trauma can impact relationships well into adulthood. What are some signs that someone may still be carrying emotional wounds from their past?
Well, because that's how they know. And when you don't know, they say when you do know better, you do better. That's not really true, because you can know better but still do the same old thing because it's familiar to you. If you watched your mother do it, you watched your grandmother do it, you watch, a lot of other individuals in your family do certain things, it becomes this generational curse. And that was all you saw as a relationship. So to see a healthy relationship is not normal. It's taboo to you. So we are creatures of habit.
Mm. Now, relationships can sometimes become emotionally draining and or unhealthy. What are some healthy boundaries people should learn to establish to protect their emotional well-being?
I tell people one thing is learning how to set boundaries. Setting boundaries is very important. And many individuals will not do it because they want to be liked. I also feel that communication is very important. I'll tell individuals, say what you mean, but don't be mean. Meaning, how you talk to people is very important. Some individuals are screamers or yellers or argue because that's what they saw in their home growing up. So when they enter into a relationship, they'll take on that same toxic behavior onto a relationship with another person. And they may be wondering, did I do something wrong? Am I in trouble? And they don't understand that that's how that person communicates. So I would say setting boundaries and communication is very important.
Hmm. Well, many people struggle with asking for help because of fear, shame, or pride. What would you say to someone who knows they need support but is afraid to begin therapy or open up about the struggles?
That's why you humor, because when you can laugh about something, you're more engaged as you are. It's like being a comedian. You laugh at your pain. And many individuals is they don't know that what they're doing that is not okay. Even if someone tells them it's not okay, but don't tell them what is okay, them trying to adapt to that takes time sometimes. But by that same token, you don't want to go around and constantly continue to be mistreated. It's like being in an abusive or toxic relationship with someone. The abuser may not even view that as abuse, but it is, and they're learning. So when you are engaging with someone, just let them know. Just let them know. This is where I draw the line. This is how I want to be treated. Talk to people the way you want to be talked to. And someone has told you, like they said, someone's going to bring it to things to your attention, but you got to be aware of it, because you can't change what you don't acknowledge.
Wow. What do you say? I'm gonna give you a scenario of I work with a lot of women business owners, women who are fabulous on stage. They're doing a lot, but behind the scenes, they're going through marriage traumas. They're going through divorce traumas, childhood traumas. What would you say to a woman entrepreneur who looks like she's got it going on, but she's still dealing with those issues,
I,
trauma?
I call that the imposter syndrome. We become great actresses. It's so easy to help other people. And we don't accept, or we be so close to something, we start ignoring it. We overlook it. And if you have a good friend, having someone, having faith, having a good friend, someone in your corner, they will bring that to your attention when they start noticing it. And just being open-minded about it and being in a safe place. You want to feel safe. Otherwise, you can go through life continuing to be unhappy, continue to make it seem like you got it all together, you got it going on, because you don't want nobody to know your pain. But in most cases, you're showing it.
So what is the steps? How does someone get past that? How do they get out of the imposter syndrome? We say it, that's a term we use, but how do they actually move forward out of that?
By taking a risk, knowing it's going to be okay. Like you said before, asking for help, letting someone know that it's okay for me to release this now that I feel safe. Because if you don't feel safe, you're going to continue to hide it. You're going to continue not wanting to talk about it. But you want to create the dialogue and connect it with the right people. With people, and the right people, a person, that helps a lot.
Awesome.
And sometimes it takes a while because some people really struggle with that and may never come out of it. It becomes a part of their identity.
Thank you for that. There's some people that really need to hear that. I mean, like I said, I have been in this entrepreneurship for a long time, and I have some really, really great friends and connections, and have really had to be around when someone was really going through. And that's not my profession. I'm a Christian woman, so I speak from that perspective. But clinically, I don't have that expertise. So I wanted to make sure that we address that for those who may be dealing with that.
The biggest thing I want to say is people are afraid of being exposed. They don't want, like you said, there's a lot of shame. There's a lot of guilt. There's a lot of, well, I'm just supposed to just suck it up. No, you need to release that pain. So when you talk about healing, and I remember I went to school with a young lady, and she was in the book, The World's Biggest Losers, in regards to gaining weight. She had gained so much weight. And the person told her, until you release that pain, you're going to continue to gain that weight because we carry it. And we carry it in places that people don't even realize it, but it starts to show. Got to let it go. You have to start the healing process, not to kill you.
And that is key, is letting it go. And that's the hardest part for some people, is the pain was so intense that they have a hard time with letting go. I've had to do that in many instances in my life, that I've thought I let it go, but I didn't. And so that is, well, once you do, that's the only way you're going to be able to heal, once you do that. So thank you for that. Thank you for sharing and being here on our Mental Health Matters conversation, Jeanette Abney. So tell them where they can connect with you.
Well, you can Google my name. You can under Jeanette Abney, LMFT. And I know you said SAP. The SAP part is a substance abuse professional. So individuals that are employed through the DOT, the railroad, the union, work as an airline person, I provide assessments and evaluations for individuals if they test positive. Some individuals think it's legal to smoke marijuana. If you have a job-sensitive duty, it's not. So providing that type, I provide them with resources to help them continue with their jobs is what I do. I also do mediation services. I work with individuals that have a lot of childhood trauma, and they don't realize how their trauma is impacting them today in their relationships with other individuals. So I try to help them to, I go down that journey with them to help them to determine what is their best life, and especially paraprofessionals. because oftentimes they hide behind what they do and they're not happy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I was recently reading something about how your emotional trauma or your childhood trauma impacts your future, your money.
Mm-hmm.
And so, real quick, tell me a little bit about that, how that happens.
It impacts your money in a lot of ways because you learn as a kid, I don't care. I don't care. You do care. Because if you didn't care, you wouldn't say it. And we become easily frustrated, easily irritated. And that impacts our relationships as far as making money because it's hard to connect with individuals when you want to isolate yourself, when you want to go run and hide. So there are individuals that have jobs or have careers or have occupations where they make a good living, but their quality of living is not that great. So that is one way that it affects your money. And another way is building those relationships.
Mm-hmm. Building relationships.
Building relationships with other individuals.
Okay, you mean that they don't build the relationships and that impacts their money? What do you?
They will run from certain relationships because they don't want to be exposed. They're
Wow,
capable of do certain things, but they will not put themselves in a position to be able to evolve or to be elevated. That can also affect their finances.
awesome, awesome. We're gonna have to do the book about this, Jeanette. we waiting. We've been waiting a long time, right?
I'm not trying to put my business in the street, but you know, when you became at last minutes, I'd be like, hey, I got it done.
All right, all right. Well, thank you for coming on and talking about this. I think it's a very important conversation and your contribution to it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, we're going to be doing a panel right after, so don't leave. All right. My next guest is an amazing, courageous woman who is here, and she has done some amazing things. And she's been part of Courageous Woman for a long time, and also a co-author in one of our recent books, Getting to Healed. So we're going to talk about that too. She is Dr. Tiffany J. Quinn, a clinical social worker, program consultant, author, speaker, and founder of TJ Quinn Miniseries, LLC. Dr. Quinn is a 9-time published author, certified mindfulness instructor, and passionate community advocate dedicated to creating safe spaces for healing, learning, and courageous conversations. Through her work, she helps individuals and organizations build resilience, strengthen leadership skills, and create positive change. Specializing in mindfulness, stress reduction, trauma informed care, emotional wellness, resilience, and women's empowerment. Dr. Quinn inspires others through speaking, teaching, writing, and service. Guided by her faith and her belief that healed women lead differently. And she continues to empower individuals to heal, grow, and thrive. Welcome, Dr. Tiffany Quinn.
Well, hello, hello.
Hey, Dr. Quinn, how are you today?
I am well. How are you?
I am good. I'm good. I'm glad you could make it and be here on this final day of mental health awareness. Even though we got this month, we're gonna continue this conversation because we know it's an important conversation. And so we thank you for being here. And a lot of women have signed up, professionals. So we're going to keep this conversation going so we can help some women. That's what Courageous Woman is all about. So thank you for being here and being part of it.
Well, thank you. And thank you for having me.
Yes, many people hear the words mindfulness and self-awareness, but many may not fully understand what that means. How can mindfulness and self-awareness help improve mental health and overall well-being?
Well, I am going to shorten the definition of mindfulness. Mindfulness is simply just paying attention, being present in the very moment that you're in. That's it. It's self,
Wow.
yeah, yeah. It's self-awareness. It's understanding where you are and then being present, eliminating distractions, and just taking a pause, just meditating, just sitting. No judgment. Nothing to do, nothing to fix.
Just sitting, huh? Just being aware of where you are and who you are.
Yeah. And now it sounds easier to do than it really is because when you are actually sitting still, that's when your mind does what it does, which is drift off and starts thinking. It starts thinking about what do you have to do next? Are you wasting time? I could be doing something else.
Mm-hmm.
But getting your mind to say, no, you're just sitting and you're not going to do anything else. You're not even thinking about the next thing. And that's why it's called a practice, because it takes quite some time to train the brain to be present in the moment because we're so used to being busy, busy, busy and multitasking. And so when you're multitasking, you're not giving 100% to either thing.
Hmm. I think part of that's me just sitting and I got 10 billion things going on and I need to calm myself and be self-aware and more mindful. But when you got 10 billion things on your desk, on your phone, on your charts, like, okay, I can't do that. How does someone really get to that point where you can totally relax and be self-aware?
Well, again, it takes time. So what I do when I meet with clients through like an ACE assessment, I start with exploring their childhood or looking to see through their personality assessment how they communicate, how they handle stress, and then we, build a stronger connection. And after those things are done, I begin to work with people on reacting to life without understanding like what is driving their reactions. Why
Mhm.
do you feel like you got to hurry up and get to those 10,000 things that's on your desk?
Hmm.
What's driving that?
Right. So you mean sitting down and really assessing why
Yeah.
are you doing all of this?
Uh-huh.
Why are you here?
And
Okay.
so the goal really is to get individuals to take like maybe the first 15 minutes of the day and take that first 15 minutes to be mindful and reflect. And then maybe one day they'll be able to set a 30-minute goal.
Hmm.
And it really is a MBSR, so stress reduction, um, a way to reduce stress. Individuals have reported lowering their blood pressure that way, reducing anxiety. So it does really help you in a holistic way.
Okay. Now, women often carry the emotional weight of families, careers, caregiving, leadership responsibilities while neglecting themselves. Why is it important for women to prioritize emotional wellness and healing?
Well, it is very important because number one, we need to reduce our stress because when your stress level is high, now it is running you into health issues. When you have health issues and health challenges, you cannot show up as your best self.
That's it right there. You need that. You need to be able to show up as your best self. So let's talk a little bit about healing. And you are a co-author in the book Getting to Heal. Technical problems that sometimes we have. It just kicked me right off of here. So, yeah, let's talk about Getting to Healed. You were a co-author in Getting to Heal. Let's talk about why you decided, first of all, to be a co-author in that book. And we actually, Dr. Tracy is here too, and she's also a co-author in that book as well. Let's talk about healing. I thought that was so important to even do that book, Getting to Heal, because it's not just a one and done. It's a journey and a process that I've had to, go through that process myself. Let's talk about that and your chapter in the book.
When you sent the email about this book, I was in a place of questioning and asking God, what do I do now? How can I move forward? And before I got delivered, I had a lot of grief. And I started attending funerals and helping people and really just immersing myself. But what I didn't know is that every time I did that, I was collecting a little bit more grief. I was collecting other people's grief and stacking grief on top of grief. And when this book came, it came at a time that I was able to not forget what was happening, but I was able to learn how to move forward without letting my pain and grief define me. It was so eye-opening. I'm trying to put it into words now, but it was, like you said, it is a journey, but one step at a time, a small change can make a big shift. And that's what happened when I wrote my chapter in Getting to the Healed. And I got to the healed. I got to the journey.
Wow.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Wow. Would you say that writing, being able to write the story, see it out in writing, did that help you in that process?
Oh my goodness. Writing is so powerful. Another holistic practice, another way of healing is through writing, journaling, naming. Um, and so I do have a journal it's called Write, like WRITE, to heal. And so again, I started with you probably about 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And
I was in Flint. No, it was after I was back here in California. Okay.
yeah, and each time I wrote or was a part of the project, there was like small bits of healing happening.
Mm-hmm.
And like even, God gave you this. I promise you. This is a ministry. This is some type of, if I could put it in a church or Christian term, this is some evangelistical outreach in a whole non-traditional way.
Yeah, and I agree with that. It was very spiritual for me, very on time for me. But I didn't even realize it at that it was that deep for me personally. It was me dealing with my own emotions, but I'm a person. I don't have time. I got to do this, that, and the other, and dealing with other people. And I felt it was a timing thing for so many people that were on that healing journey. And and actually put away another project to move this one forward. And I thought it was really profound. And then there was so many things going on and happening. And, God spoke to me like, okay, this book is not done because your own journey needs to be in the story. So I was able to share at that point, share my own story in that book, which I rarely get an opportunity to do. And so it was a timing thing, very spiritual. And we got a lot of work to do with this book. There's so many people that have an impact, including the authors. So thank you for being part of that project, and it's ongoing. So if you haven't got your copy of Getting to Heal, make sure you go over there to Amazon and grab your copy of Getting to Heal. I have another question for you. For someone who wants to begin their healing journey but feels emotionally exhausted, overwhelmed, or stuck, speak right into the camera to those people who simply they want some steps. They need the steps so they can move forward in the healing and resilience, in their own healing and resilience.
Many people think that they have to figure it out. Oops, technical difficulties.
No, I'm here. Go ahead.
There you go.
I'm just giving you the floor.
Oh, okay. But the truth is, healing starts right where you are. You don't have to be strong today. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't even have to be willing to take the next step. But when people are emotionally exhausted, they feel like they're just carrying the weight of the world. They have tried everything. And so, what I would say is start small. Drink some water first thing in the morning. Get some rest. Take a short walk. Spend 5 quiet minutes every morning breathing and writing in your journal. Talk to someone, a trusted friend, a pastor, a counselor, a therapist. But start where you are.
Sorry about that. That is something I say very, very often. Start where you are. Sometimes we think we have to have these things in place and all this together. I got to do this. I got to do this. Got to start this. Got to start that. Got to have this much. Got to have that much. Start where you are, and wherever you are in that journey to healing and resilience. I think it was you that said baby steps. Just start. Wherever you are, just start. And so I hope that those of you who are listening were able to get some really good information and tips from these phenomenal experts tonight. I'm going to bring everybody back on. Thank you, Dr. Quinn, for sharing and being part of Courageous Woman, period. Being here for so long. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm going to bring everybody back because I have one question for everyone. Hey, ladies. Thank you all. Thank you all. You are fabulous experts in this mental health space. I really appreciate you coming and sharing and being part of this evening. I have one question for timing. I'm going to just ask you one question. Many women are balancing careers, family responsibilities, caregiving, relationships, and personal struggles all at once. How can women begin prioritizing their own emotional wellness without feeling guilty? Dr. Allen?
I would say, first and foremost, I would have to say for me, I would have to pray and ask God for guidance as to how can I prioritize what matters, what order can I put these things in. Not that anything is less important, but that will be beneficial to my mental psyche in order to be the best version of myself that I possibly can. I.e., most definitely our kids going to always come first. So, but we have to be in the right mind space to be able to help our kids, to support our kids, and then ask God for guidance to show us, okay, we'll follow suit. I need the tools now to guide me to be able to meet those requirements. Same thing with the job, same thing with my spouse, for your significant other, you know, um, being a business, going to school, whatever the situation that may be, because we are women that do wear many hats, and most of the time we never get breaks ever, and we have to keep going, and sometimes we're running on empty. But for me, I would have to say it has to be my faith and guidance to pray and ask for God for guidance, and He'll answer, He'll show you the way.
Awesome. Thank you. How about you, Mitzi? Many women are balancing careers, family responsibility, caregiving, relationships. How can women begin to prioritize their own emotional wellness without feeling guilty?
Right. I like to remind the women that their importance, if they're that important to their family, then they have to take care of themselves, right? Because what would happen if something happened to you? And a lot of times when they see it from that perspective, it's like, oh, yeah, and I mentioned before, just little steps. If it's, just simply doing something, because Dr. Quinn even mentioned it, taking 5 minutes for yourself, because we have to begin to build, because it doesn't come easy. It's hard to change. It's hard to do things a different way. So we first have to realize how important we are to others. And then we have to begin to work on ourselves gradually. Could be, I mentioned, watching a movie, sitting on the couch, something that helps me to relax so I can begin to be better for those that I take care of.
Awesome. Thank you. You, Dr. Quinn?
Well, I would definitely say women are socialized to take care of everyone first.
Mm-hmm.
We take care of our children, spouses, just everyone, ministries, communities. Whole communities was built off the back of women. And so sometimes along the way, we just begin to believe that taking care of ourselves is selfish. Like, how can I just stop? But I really just want women to understand that self-care is stewardship. You just can't physically, mentally, emotionally pour from an empty cup. So eventually all those things will lead to burnout. And so one of the things that women can do is to, number one, don't give up on yourself. Mm-mm. Don't give up on yourself. Prioritize emotional wellness. And that doesn't always require a vacation or a day at the spa. Sometimes it looks like setting healthy boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And I know people don't like that word, but sometimes it means saying no without even explaining it.
Right.
That's self-care. Um, yeah. So I would just say, prioritize yourself and be consistent and don't neglect your own needs.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Anyone have any last encouraging words and share where people can connect with you?
I want to say this, Talisha. You didn't, in regards to that, guilt in itself is not a bad thing, but it's
Mm-hmm.
knowing the difference between realistic and unrealistic guilt. what's realistic, what's unrealistic, and give yourself permission to feel.
Right. Awesome. Now, where can people connect with you, Jeanette?
They can find me at Jeanette Abney, lmft.com. And or you can call me at 714-992-1677.
Awesome. And all of these ladies are on our website at courageouswomanmag.com. If you click that QR code right at the top, you'll be taken to an article that features all of the ladies. So you'll be able to get their contact information and connect with all of them right there at the top of the screen. Is a QR code. Just put your phone right up there and get that information. So any of you ladies have any last encouraging words? All right. Well, I thank you all for being here and being part of Courageous Woman Magazine's Mental Health Matters series. This is the first of that series, and that we'll continue this conversation because it is a needed conversation. So we have some courageous women that will be coming up. We'll be talking about this conversation coming up. So stay tuned if you want to be a part of this conversation. All right. Thank you, ladies.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Y'all have a blessed evening.
Thank you.
Tonight's conversation reminded us of the healing is possible. That healing is possible. Support is available, and no one has to struggle alone. Mental health affects every part of our lives, including how we think, love, communicate, parent, work, and care for others. By having open and honest conversations like this, we help remove stigma while encouraging people to seek the support, tools, and healing they deserve. I want to thank our incredible guests and mental health professionals, Dr. Tracy Allen, Mitzi Alexander, Dr. Tiffany Quinn, and Jeanette Abney for sharing their wisdom, compassion, expertise, and encouragement with us tonight. Thank you, everyone who tuned in. Share the broadcast. It's on YouTube. You can always find our broadcast on our Courageous Woman Magazine YouTube. And thank you for participating in the conversation. And if you are a mental health or health professional who wants to be a part of our upcoming conversation, I know this is Mental Health Awareness Month, but we are going to keep this conversation going. So thank you, and be sure to follow us at courageouswomanmag.com. And remember, you are not alone. Your healing matters, your voice matters, and your mental health matters. Good night, everyone.